What's up, Hoopball Nation? It's Brandon Marcus from the Hoopball Clippers podcast. We're chatting about an exciting time in Clipperland with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George looking to lead the team to an NBA title. Tune in to hear guests ranging from TV voice Brian Seaman and radio voice Noah Eagle to various beat writers and team bloggers. Follow the podcast on Twitter @HoopballClips and follow me @BDMarcus. Looking forward to having you tune in.
The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Good morning, Hoop Ballers. Hope everyone's having a fabulous day today. We're actually recording this on Tuesday night, or Monday night, sorry, my bad. So that good morning is a little different from what I'm doing to what you guys are going to hear tomorrow. But I'm here joined with a guy who's pulling a 3-4 nighter, Steve Williams. How you doing today, Steve?
I'm good, man. I've been resting up for this. I'm ready.
Yeah, you had your back-to-back over the weekend, and now you're here starting the week off again strong. But we have a very volatile slate for you guys tomorrow. A crazy Tuesday. This is going to be one where you're going to want to hang on to every news aspect that you can find, because if someone's not already scratched, they may very well be scratched by game time. It's that kind of night. We only have one line for you guys because there's just so many people out. And it's the only game where really no one's out. Only one person is questionable in that game. So we're in for a store. And Steve, I have a feeling we're going to go a lot of dumpster diving tonight. So I hope you brought some crappy clothes that you don't mind throwing out.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready for it. We've got some people on my list that I think this is the first time they've ever been on my list.
Yeah, it's one of those nights, guys. And again, there is so much news out there and so many people missing or not missing or questionable, whatever the case may be, that by the time you enter your lineups, some of this news is going to be irrelevant. Some of these people might not even play. We don't know because there's just so much uncertainty going around here. But we're going to touch on what we do know right now. And we're going to hit this first game. We're going to get right into this craziness. First game is Brooklyn-Orlando. This game actually means nothing. Brooklyn, surprisingly, sewed up the 7 seed. With whatever they threw out here for their roster, they still managed to play better than the Magic and sew up the 7 seed, and the Magic are locked into that 8 seed after losing 4 straight. Let's touch on the dumpster diving Brooklyn Nets again, which surprisingly they beat the Bucks when they did this last. But on the Nets side, this game starts at 1. Again, there is no line. There's so many people out. Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, Joe Harris, Garrett Temple, Jamal Crawford. All 5 of those guys will not play as of right now. Maybe someone else joins them. But as of right now, let's go to Steve. How do you feel about the wings of the backcourt? Give us who you like in this game and why. And where are you diving in your dumpster? Are you deep diving? Are you semi-deep diving? How far deep are you going into this trash?
Well, you know what? I have one backcourt player that I think I will be playing tomorrow, but it feels a little unfair to me to be mentioning your guy. So I think I'm going to let you mention your guy, and then I'll take it after that.
Is that Chiozza?
It is.
Do we have some Chris Chiozza love here?
I've got lots of Chris Chiozza love tomorrow.
Good. I'm glad I'm on with you and not Mike, because Mike was getting on me about my Chiozza love. But I'm with you. I'm going to play him. With nobody there, he has to start at point guard. And last game he didn't start at point guard when everybody was out. But he still played the majority of the minutes there, and he still put up a pretty solid double-double with 3 boards. I expect similar results, even better now that it's against the Magic, who are also injured, and not the Bucks. So I'm going back to the well, and he's also only 4,400 now. Last time he was, I believe, 54 to 56. So that's very good value for him. So yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, Chiozza's when he gets 30 minutes, he's giving us close to 30 DK points a night. I see no reason to think he doesn't at least have a 25.4 or so. So I really like Chiozza tomorrow in this matchup. Someone's got to soak up that usage, and I think it's going to be him.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in on him. I think I've said enough for a few podcasts of why I like this guy when he's playing. So who else you got? Anybody else you got out there?
I think a lot of people are going to be looking at Tyler Johnson, and I think he's okay at 5,100. My issue with Tyler Johnson is that he's going to be very dependent on if he's hitting his shot or not. Last game, he played 30 minutes and got 28 DK points, but that was with hitting 5 threes. I'm just not banking on Tyler Johnson hitting 5 threes again tomorrow, so I'm probably going to fade him. That's the only other guy I'd look at in the backcourt.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'd rather have the 700 cheaper and Chris Chiozza than I would have Tyler Johnson, but I won't fault people for playing him at 5,100. He's going to have very good usage, but that's not too bad.
The opportunity will be there for sure.
Yeah. Anybody in the front court or forward guys, forward/front court?
Yeah, I like a few guys in the front court tomorrow. I like Kurix if he starts. 4,100. He's been playing 30 minutes a game, even with their other guys. So I imagine he gets some usage funneled his way, and all he has to do is really put up 24 points, which, he can get some rebounds. He can score a little bit. It's a good opportunity for him. I also, now we're digging really deep, but I'm kind of like Dante Hall tomorrow. He's only 3,200, and this guy is a fantastic point per minute producer. He's efficient. You give him 20 minutes, he should get you 20 points. If Vooch plays, they're going to need some bigger bodies out there. So I actually kind of like Dante Hall.
Yeah. I like both of them too. I think there's another guy I like as well. Musa for minimum price, 3K. I like him a little more than Hall, and I like him a little more than Kurix. Kurix just hasn't played well for me to want to play. I know 4,100 is nothing, and he's going to see 30 minutes. But I kind of like Musa saving 1,100 and trying paying up for some of the bigger guys on the slate because there's not that many that are still playing out there. And one other guy that last time everybody was benched did pretty well. He scored over 20 points. Is TLC. I'm not going to butcher his name, but I'll try it. Luwawu Cabarro.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I think I did all right. I'm just going to call him TLC. But at 3,600, last time he put up, I believe it was 26 points. He fouled out late, but he had 26 points, three rebounds. Didn't do much besides score. But if he's going to score 20 again, that breaks easy or he can return 5-6 times value for that if you're going dumpster diving again. So I like the two guys you called, and then I would also look at Musa and TLC for other cheap options if you're trying to pay up for some stars out there.
Yeah. Yep. You want to talk about the other side of the ball?
Yeah. Let's go to the Orlando Magic here. There are quite a few people on the Magic again. So this game to me was the dumpster dive game of the night. There's just a lot of cheap value that is going to see some time. But we have a bunch of people that are questionable, and Aaron Gordon, Evan Fournier, and Michael Carter-Williams. With the seeding locked up, I'm going to assume that they're closer to out than probable. So we'll go with that. And Terrence Ross left the bubble. So he's just definitely not playing. So those three are questionable, one's out, and there might be more to come after that. But what we know now is those guys are more than likely not playing. So where are you looking in the front court? Let's start in the front court with a couple front court guys out. Who are you liking in this one?
Well, I mean, I think Vooch is going to be one of the smash plays of the day. Luckily, this is the first game, and we should get the news, before the slate locks. So we'll find out if he does indeed play or not. I think there's a decent chance that they probably, that they sit him since they're all locked up. But Vooch would have all the usage in the world in a team that struggles against centers when they have their good players playing. At 8,600, I think he would smash through that if he plays, but I'm just worried that he's going to not play.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think this is a prototype smash mouth spot for him. Hey, now you're an all-star, Foos. But even if he does play, I don't know if they play him more than 22 minutes. He could easily return value in 22 minutes against Kurix at center. But I don't know if they're going to really want to play him much. I mean, they're already the 8th seed, and this game means nothing. Brooklyn just throwing out whoever they have on their bench here. So that kind of scares me on Vooch and letting other people want him. But it could easily backfire because this is that smash mouth spot for him. For me, if I'm looking in the front court, I'm looking at I think Bamba is the same way, only 3,000, but I don't know if they play him either. I think they play a lot of Kem Birch in this one and Gary Clark. And at 33 and 3,400, I think these are just dumpster diving that I kind of like over here.
Yeah, I'll be watching the news for sure. Gary Clark at 3,400 was someone that kind of piqued my interest. He played 26 and 33 minutes in the last couple of games, got 29 DK points, 3,400 with arguably more usage and minutes coming his way. That seems like I don't even know is that still called dumpster diving?
It's called something. I don't know. We're going off the backup's backup now because
Yeah.
if Aaron Gordon doesn't play, that means Isaac and Gordon aren't playing. He's pretty much their only power forward, and Kem Burke, but he's more of a center. So, yeah, I guess we won't call it dumpster diving. We'll just call it very good value.
Yeah. Another guy I'll have a little look at is Ennis. At 4,300, he's been playing a consistent role. He has a safe role. He should be good for somewhere in the low 20 DK points. The minutes will be there. A few extra shots will be there. I wouldn't knock someone for looking at Ennis.
Yeah, I don't think he's bad. But to me, he's the elder statesman of the group. So I just don't know if they throw him out for too much in this game. It's a lot of what ifs and coulda, shoulda, wouldas in all these scenarios when everybody's just benching their whole teams. It's very hard to look at. But we got to look somewhere. Who do you like on the guard side and the wing side?
So I actually really like Fultz. I feel like every game we talk about today, I have to say, well, if they're playing their minutes, but that's kind of
exactly
the point of the season that we're at. But Fultz has been playing really well lately. And one reason I'm optimistic about his minutes and his role is this is a guy that we all know, has struggled with confidence in his career. He's coming off of a 16-point, 10-assist game against a tough Boston team. So, maybe they want to give him a run and kind of let him go out there and just gain some confidence. At 4,600, he should return value easily. He's just coming off of a 44 DK point game, like I said, against Boston. So I do like Fultz.
Yeah, he's the one backcourt guy on this team that I'm looking at if I'm looking at anyone. For 4,600, not a bad price, coming off a very good game, double-double, as you mentioned. And he could just tear up this team if given the opportunity. And yes, this whole game is a caveat of given the opportunity. But for 4,600, that's not a lot of money to say, or compared to like a Vucevic 8,600. If he only plays 27 minutes, that it's not going to crush you because you still have a lot of money to play with in other spots. So I like him as well there.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's keep it rolling, man. Let's go right into the next game. I wonder if people are out in this one, but this game starts at 2:00. There's no line for this one as well, and this is Houston at San Antonio. On the Spurs side, House is questionable with toe injury. Eric Gordon is out with rest, and the big bopper James Harden is also out with rest. Russell Westbrook will play this one. He'll probably sit the next game, but this is how we're looking. And who do you like on Houston because of this? We could start right in the backcourt.
Well, I think Westbrook is going to be the chalk of the day. At 9,300 with no James Harden, he will smash that in 26, 28 minutes. And D'Antoni never plays him 26 or 28 minutes. So I expect him to get in the 30s. This guy can just get it done in so many different ways. He should be able to hit value very easily at 9,300. What do you think about Westbrook? Are you scared with his ownership, or are you still going to go to him?
The ownership is going to be high, but rightfully so. Without James Harden, without Eric Gordon, House might not even play. Even without, who cares about the last two? Without James Harden at 9,300, he's only 9,300. That seems like a lock to me. I got to go to him as well. It seems as though he's going to be just 90% owned at at the late or I was going to say at the lowest, but maybe a little lower. But he's going to be heavily owned. But if you don't have shares of him and he goes off, which he's going to just shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot, you put yourself in a bind not having him.
Yeah, I agree. Kind of got to play him.
Yeah, you're put into that spot. Whether you wanted to or not, you have to have some Westbrook love there. But anybody else in that backcourt that you're looking at or on the wings?
Yeah, Ben Mclemore he's been pretty highly owned the last 2 nights, and rightfully so. He was filling that role while Westbrook was out, but his price just jumped up $900, and considering he's been shooting pretty well from 3, I actually think I'll be fading him. I'm gonna shoot myself for saying this later, but I think I'm gonna be looking at Austin Rivers.
Okay.
Rivers at 4,100 is coming off of I think it was a career high in scoring. He had 41 points against Sacramento, and I don't expect him to have 41 real points again. But what I do like is that he's playing 33, 32 minutes. He gets assists, he gets rebounds, he's going to score a little bit. I find it just the way his game is and what his role is going to be. I think he's a pretty safe bet at 4,100. I'll give you a chance to tell me that I'm wrong about that now.
Well, I'm with you there. Ben Mclemore he's shot in 24 shots or 24 threes in the last 2 games. He's made 11 of them, but at almost 5K, it's very hard for him to, even if he does get you value, which he could easily return value or get you to his value point, it's not going to be too much of a value after that because of that price jump. But Austin Rivers didn't really get a price bump there. He got 700, but from 34 to 41, that's still reasonable. And as you mentioned, he's coming off a career-shattering 41 points, 6 boards, 4 assists. That was without Westbrook, but now they're going to be out without Harden. So it's similar big usage bopper out there. And I could play him. If I'm going to play someone, I'd rather have the 700 or 600 cheaper Austin Rivers than a Mclemore because he has a better chance to return value for me. Unless if I had them head to head and I have say 4,700 left, then I would rather go Mclemore just because he is shooting hot. But I think Rivers is the better, safer option or better play for the cheaper money.
Yeah, I agree.
So I like that. How about in the front court? Oh,
I actually don't have anyone in the front court. I think Robert Covington is an okay value at 67. That's we're getting close to the price where I don't like to play him, although he's certainly capable of, having a multiple steals, multiple blocks game and shattering that. I think he's an okay play, but I think there's going to be value elsewhere, so I won't be looking at Covington. Outside of that, no, I don't really like anyone else in the Rockets front court.
And so far so good. We're on the same page here. So I like Covington a little as well at 67, but again, I'm mostly going to be dumpster diving for all this value and paying up in other spots like for a Westbrook, for some other people that we'll get to. So I don't really like the 6,700 price tag for Cov, but he is, like you said, he's right at where he could be, and he could return value there. I just think there's so many people out on this slate that there's so much value cheaper that you can pay up instead of going like a mid-salary Cov guy.
Yeah, I agree. We'll talk about a couple of them when we talk about the Spurs.
Yeah, a couple of them, and let's jump right into it. You mentioned it, the Spurs, and the Spurs are one of the healthier teams right now in the league. They're without Bryn Forbes. He's I think he's out again, or they just didn't update it yet, and he's questionable. And Derek White is questionable with a knee contusion. That's big for me, the Derek White news. But the Bryn Forbes, he's been out pretty much the entire bubble. So who do you like on the Spurs? And we'll start in the backcourt this time. Start in the backcourt and small forward type guys.
Well, I was looking at DeJounte Murray. I think he's going to pull a difficult defensive matchup. He'll probably be guarding Westbrook. If Derek White's not playing, then Murray is a smash play at 6,200. This is a guy that doesn't even need to score to hit 30 DK points. He gets steals, he gets rebounds, he gets assists. He's kind of a unique player. If Derek White does play at 61, I love him. But we'll have to wait and see the news with that one. If White plays, I'll probably be a little bit less optimistic about Murray. What do you think of those guys?
Yeah, if any of them miss a game, I like the other guy a lot more than I do when they're both playing. So if White doesn't play, Murray is in a very good spot at 62. But if he does play, I don't know if I want to attack Murray. He's still going to be in a good spot, but him and White, to me, get canceled out. I probably, if I had to pick between the two, I'd go White, but I don't know if in a full lineup, I might stick a little away from both of them just to see what other values out there.
Yeah, you said it before. There is so much value out here. There's no reason to be flocking towards people that you're lukewarm on a slate like this. I feel like we have to mention him, but DeRozan has been playing pretty well since he's been in the bubble. I don't really like him at $8,000. He's kind of been falling around like just 5xing when he's 8,000 or above 8,000. And seeing this, that he'll be playing against Covington tomorrow, who's just, he's a nasty defender. Mm-hmm. I'm not putting a lot of faith in DeRozan giving us those 48 to 50 DK points that we want for 8,000.
Yeah, I really like him. I wish he was still playing like the 3 or the 2 right now. But for 8K in this, what should be a up and down matchup, I think he has the one defender that you don't want to go against on the Rockets. So for 8K, he hasn't, like you said, he hasn't really brought too much value back. He's just either hitting it or just falling short for that 5K return at least. So I'm going to have to let him go as well. There are a couple people in the dumpster dive pool that I kind of like for this matchup. But let's hit on you first. Is there anybody else on the wings or in the front court that you like?
You know what? No, I think I kind of like Podol in this matchup, but at 5,500, it's just a little too rich for my blood. I haven't really given too much consideration to anyone else. Eubanks has been all right. He's worth mentioning. Is that someone you were thinking about?
Yeah, that's one guy I was thinking about. I think this matchup suits him better than Pirtle because I know it's a small ball and Pirtle can get a bunch of rebounds and protect the rim in this. But the way I think that they're going to play is just running up and down the court, and Pirtle can't do that. I think Eubanks fits his style a lot better, and at 3,800, I don't mind taking that dive right there. He has been playing pretty well. He saw 24 minutes in the last game in a similar style of a game against the Pelicans, and he brought back nearly 34 DK points. So I kind of like him better in this matchup, and that's 3,800 is such a cheap price. And the guy right above him, Keldon Johnson, I think he fits well in this matchup as well. And at 3,900, I'll be fine with paying that if I'm what I think I'm going to be doing and spending up here. I'm perfectly fine with doing that. He's been playing 22 to 26 minutes all bubble, and I expect that to continue and maybe more so. Maybe he hits the 30 mark like he did against the Kings in the opener.
Yeah, he might be a guy that gets a little bump if White misses the game as well.
Yeah, and another bump would go to probably Lonnie Walker if White does miss it, and this is a good matchup for him. He could score in bunches. I just don't know if this is his time yet to start doing that.
See, I get Walker all wrong.
Yeah,
he has a good game. I look at him, and then he drops a dud. And then he has a good game. I look at him, he drops a dud.
Yeah, it seems to be the case with him, unfortunately. All right, man. We're trying to heavy hit this because there's so much uncertainty going on, so we're trying to go quick for you guys. Let's get right into the third game. This game starts at 4:30. It's Phoenix. The hot Phoenix, the hot team from Arizona, is playing out of their minds right now. They have yet to lose a game in the bubble, just so everybody knows.
Wait, did they lose today?
They did not. They don't lose.
They won today.
Yeah.
They were down big early. I must have missed that.
And then they dominated. They're just not losing. And they're playing against the Sixers, who are beat up, and they're playing without most of their starting lineup. So I think this is another smash ball for the Suns to maybe go 7-0 to start the bubble. Wow.
Who would have guessed that?
Right. We went from the Suns shouldn't even be here to, oh, the Suns are here. Okay, they're only a half game behind the Blazers for the 9 seed and a game behind the Grizzlies for that 8th seed. All they need to do is get one and then get in that play-in tournament type thing. But let's start with I almost said Sixers. Let's start with the Suns. So the big news in the Suns are pretty much everything we already knew. Kelly Oubre is probably out, but I'm going to list him, Aaron Baines, and Eli Akobo as questionable right now. I don't know if they're going to, with the way they're playing, they don't need to bring Oubre back and mess up their flow, but he's a great player. So either way.
I kind of wonder what they're going to do with him when he comes back, because Cam Johnson seems to fit really well with the starting lineup.
Yeah, and so does Mikal Bridges, and they're both playing really good right now in their roles. So we'll see what happens. But speaking of the Suns and roles, who do you like on this team? Let's just throw it out there. Every position, any backcourt, frontcourt, wing, whatever you want to do. Who do you like on the Suns right here?
So I've got 4 guys I'm looking at on the Suns.
Okay.
I like them because, as you said, they have a lot to play for. They're undefeated. They're one of the few teams that you can definitively say tomorrow that they will be playing their starters until they don't need to anymore. So we got to go with Devin Booker. I know he's priced up to 8,800, but this guy's just been playing awesome. There's also so many cheap guys on this slate in general that I don't think that 8,800 is necessarily going to hurt us as much as it would on a normal day. So I like him in this matchup. It's a pretty depleted Philly team. I think he should have a good game. And I also, assuming that he can remember to take his COVID test, I like Ayton tomorrow. We've got no Embiid. We have Horford questionable. If those guys are out, I mean, this guy is just athletic and he can get it done. I like Ayton, especially if Horford's out. I'll be looking at a little bit of Cam Johnson. He's been doing really well for me this whole bubble. Still 5,200. He's just been so consistent, although there are a lot of other cheap options. So we'll have to see how it works out when I'm doing my builds. Then the last guy in the Suns I like is Cameron Payne. At 4,000, he just keeps getting that value. It's hard for me to steer clear of him. I've had him in my player pool, I think the last 3 times the Suns have played, and he's been doing me pretty well.
Yeah, I like all those guys too. Starting with Booker, I want him on my lineups, or I want him in my lineups. I've been mentioning there's so much dumpster diving and so much value out there. We have the opportunity to get a few of these big guns paired up with each other and not really having empty spots out there because of all this value in the cheap guys. So Booker is one of the few that I want there. I just really, the way he's playing right now, and Josh Richardson is not playing, Ben Simmons is not playing. He's going to be in another good spot, and this guy's playing out of his mind to try and get the first taste of the NBA playoffs that ever for him in his 5th year, and he's only 22. So I really like him. I like Ayton. Ayton to me is just, I don't know. This guy is just so inconsistent. He has so much talent, but he just doesn't want to put it all together when he can. So to me, that scares me a little bit. But without Embiid, he should easily break this value for 7,900. But it's a matter of effort to me, and I don't know if he always has that effort. That's the only thing that scares me a little off. I'd rather just have Booker and then see what else I can get. But if I have the money and at 7,900, I can't see. It's very hard for anybody else to not beat this value again without an Embiid or with an Embiid-less Sixer team and a Horford-less Sixer team. But if someone's not going to do it, it would be Ayton to me. And then you mentioned Cam Johnson. Yeah, he's playing great right now. And at 5,200, if he can easily bring you back 30 points again and give you value there. And Cam Payne, I know we mentioned him last time we were on here at 3,800. It was the first game that he didn't bring back value. He just missed it. But yeah, he's pretty much been scoring 20 plus points on average, about 23 fantasy DK points every game. So he's, for 4K, you're getting a good guy. If you don't want to do the dumpster diving and the spin the wheel with some of these other guys who are just getting value for one game. Cameron Payne's been playing great, and he's getting the minutes and seeing this role.
Yeah, Phoenix is the one team that I think we kind of know what they're going to be throwing out tomorrow. There's just no injuries or extenuating circumstances that should really move the needle too much outside of maybe Oubre playing last minute.
Yeah, I would say them and Memphis. And shocker, it's the two teams that are fighting for their lives in the bubble. So that's why we know so much about them. But yeah, I like everything you said there. I'll back that up. But let's flip it on over to the Sixers. And we mentioned a few people who are already out. Josh Richardson's out for rest. Tobias Harris, questionable with an ankle injury. Horford, questionable with a knee injury. Probably won't play. Embiid, out with an ankle injury. Simmons out with a knee injury. But Glenn Robinson returned last game, so there's that. So what do you like on the Sixer team? Again, another team just ravaged by injury or rest, whatever they want to call it. Let's start in the front court here, because the Embiid and Horford list probably, and Ben Simmons list, and Tobias Harris list. Geez, this front court is a mess.
Yeah, so I guess we should start by saying if Tobias Harris or Horford does play, I would be considering them pretty strongly. But I agree with you that they probably won't be playing. So now we're really getting into the dumpster diving. I'd be looking at Kyle O'Quinn.
It's funny. Me and Mike mentioned him the other day. We were just laughing. The random O'Quinn games, and the next 2 days later, the random O'Quinn game might happen again.
The random O'Quinn game is like this guy will sometimes just come in and give us like 2 or 4 DK points and just completely ruin a lineup. Or he'll give us 30 at like minimum salary and he'll make our lineup.
Exactly.
But
Kyle O'Quinn starting 6 fouls in 10 minutes, 1 rebound, 0 points. Or Kyle O'Quinn starting 6 blocks, 5 steals out of nowhere. It's like, which Kyle O'Quinn you getting today?
I've got to make it very clear to the listeners, I'm not stating my reputation on Kyle O'Quinn tomorrow. I'm merely telling you that he will have the opportunity to do big things. Outside of O'Quinn, I'll be looking at Cork Moss. Cork Moss has had a few games this year where he just goes nuts. So he'll have the opportunity tomorrow. It's another guy at minimum salary with a big opportunity. So if you're really swinging for the fences, you could take a look at those guys.
Yeah. It's very hard for me to swing the fence on O'Quinn just because we mentioned there's a lot of value out there that you won't get that donut. But O'Quinn could either be a lineup swing or in either direction, and it's too hard for me to trust that. I'd rather have. I wish he was out as well, because I'd rather play Norvel Pell at 3K. I think his shot blocking ability and his ability to stay on the court a little bit longer is better. But I'm gonna have to. I would fade both of them, but I mean, again, if you're dumpster diving, it can't hurt to go. I mean, it could.
Yeah.
It could hurt really badly. But if you're dumpster diving and you have faith in the O'Quinn game, the random O'Quinn game, good luck. Go for it. If everybody is out, I would say Shake Milton's got to get a ton of usage. So I would possibly look his way at 5,100. He's been playing very, very bad lately, but he should be looking at a lot of shots. So I would think about him. Alec Burks has been hot lately, and at 4,300, if everybody plays, he's going to get a lot of usage too. He has 29 shots the last 2 games. He's been shooting over 500 both games, so maybe look at him. And then one of my favorite guys in the league, Matisse Dybal, at 3,200. This is more so on a FanDuel. I haven't looked at the FanDuel pricing yet. We kind of stick to DraftKings mainly because of everybody else that listens to outside the U.S. and where FanDuel does not let you play. But when you get 3 points for blocks and steals, and this guy should be looking at 35 to maybe 40 minutes, he could play that. This is where I want to target him more because you get that extra point for a steal and a block, his 2 specialties.
Yeah, he is an incredible defender. You watch this kid. It's just amazing that a rookie is this good.
Yeah.
You know,
he should have been on the the Rising Stars team. I don't know why he wasn't.
Yeah, he really should have, because he's kind of got an established role already, which is impressive. But I could, if you want to game script this, they could throw him out there and try to make things really tough for Booker. I don't mind that call.
We'll see what happens. But those two, a lot of these are just cheap options. And you mentioned Cork Moss at 3K, another cheap guy that this is assuming that all these guys don't play. If they do play, like you said, I'll go after a Horford. I'll go after a Harris. They're going to get their shots at 63 and 85, respectively. That's not a bad price to pay for a definite alpha dog.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Awesome. So before we move on, I got to talk about a couple things that I like. And if you haven't done this by now, I don't know what you guys are missing out on, but go check out MyBookie. MyBookie is the place to be for everything, all sports betting, whether it's the MLB, the NHL, the NBA bubble, and the playoffs coming up soon. Soon to be the NFL preseason and NFL regular season, whether it's golf, anything out there. MyBookie is the place to be. And when you get there, type in the promo code HoopBall, HOOPBALL, and you get a very good discount. And they will match whatever your first deposit is 100%. Yes, you heard that right, 100% match of your first deposit. So just get out there and check out MyBookie. And after that, go check out one of my other favorite things that I got. I actually got it in the mail a couple weeks ago, and it's one of my favorite products, hands down. The Lawnmower 3.0, it's fantastic, and this is from Manscaped. And if you get to manscaped.com, put in the promo code HoopBall20, that's HOOPBALL 20, and you get 20% off everything and free shipping. So give those two things a try, and I guarantee you will not be disappointed out there. But yeah, let's move on to these last couple games. We got a few more to go here. The next game is Boston at Memphis, and this starts at 5 o'clock. Boston doesn't really have any injury news except for Daniel Tice is, I believe, probable. Yes, probable with a foot injury, and Memphis has nothing. Just Jaren Jackson's out. So let's start with Boston. Who do you like on the Celtics side? And we'll put the caveat in: this game doesn't mean anything for them. They may have some late scratches.
Yeah, they're coming off of that overtime game against the Magic, so this is a game that I might look to stack a little bit, just so if it is indeed competitive, I get maximum value from it, and if it's not, I can just wash that lineup away and move on to one of my other ones. Assuming they're playing, I think Jason Tatum is an awesome matchup at 7,800. He put up 45 DK points in 26 minutes the last time they played. Jaylen Brown wasn't there, but just seems to me like they don't even have a body that they can really put on Tatum. I think he should go off against this team. What do you think about him?
If they're playing and I'm playing them, and I think that they're going to play their game, I'll wait till I hear the news late and try and get as much information as possible to see are the Celtics are going to try in this game or what. But if they do, it's those three guys: Tatum, Brown, or Hayward, in that order. And those are the only guys I'm looking at. I think Tatum's a fantastic play anytime he's on the court. But now he's back under 8K, which I love that price tag.
Yeah, I like Tatum a lot. I think Brown is an all right play too at 7,100. He's got a nice cash floor. He's been balling, but just a little worried about this roll tomorrow.
And he saw his price bump up a little, couple hundred to get over 7K, which I don't like. But if I'm in that range at the end of the night, and I want to keep that 700 somewhere else, I don't mind going to Brown or Hayward, but I think it goes Tatum for me with a solid room in between, then Brown, a little more solid room as well, and then Hayward. I don't really want to look anywhere else on this team. I don't know about you.
Nope, wasn't really looking anywhere else. Not unless you find out that people are going to sit and you want to go look at Brad Wanamaker. But
yeah, that could be a possibility. If people are just sitting out of nowhere, then you're going to want to change everything we said there.
Yeah.
Awesome. let's jump on over to Memphis. Like we said, the only Triple J is out. But what do you like in Memphis, and what don't you like? Let's start in the backcourt.
So I mean, I think Morant's just a little too expensive at 83. I mean, this is a tough matchup. Everyone always talks about, Marcus Smart defense, but what about when Marcus Smart's sitting and Jaylen Brown's guarding you? It doesn't get much better. I just think 83 is a little too expensive for Morant and what I expect in his matchup tomorrow.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. I think Dylan Brooks is an okay value at 5,400. His usage has been through the roof. This guy's been shooting a ton, but it's just another tough matchup. And if we have a healthy Boston team, I think they're going to make things really difficult for him.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Ja. 83 is just too pricey for me. I don't like him at that price. I'd rather try and pay up for a Booker, only 500 more, or I'd rather, if I know Tatum's playing, I'd rather just save the 500 and take Tatum at 78. There's a lot of better options to me in that price range. And you mentioned Dylan Brooks. He's a guy that I actually like, and I wish Mike was on here so I could talk crap about him. I mentioned that someone's got to take the secondary scoring role when Triple J left, and he was taking 15. He's averaging 18 shots the first couple games. His usage just skyrocketed since that, and he actually been leading the team in scoring since. I believe every game except pretty much. So I like that at 5,300. That's not a bad price for a guy who's taking 18 to 20 shots a game now. And he's been scoring over 20 points every time. Depending on who the Celtics want to throw out there, only helps his upside out there, I think.
Yeah, that's a good call. What about in the front court?
In the front court? Ooh. I mean, the center spot in Celtics is always a good spot I like to target. So I could look at both Clark and Joe Val. Joe Val's 72. I don't know if I want to pay that for him. I know he could easily bring back value on that, but there are some people like as I mentioned, I like a little bit more money, and I'm trying to spend up there. So I might, I'll probably get some exposure in some lineups, but he won't be a mainstay in my lineup. Brandon Clark, on the other hand, at a more affordable 5K, and he finally had his good game, and he got 26 minutes without Triple J. I like him a little bit more, but I don't know. I want to see exactly who's playing on the Celtics, because if Tatum and everybody is playing and Tatum's starting at the 4, I don't know if they'll throw out Brandon Clark for 30 minutes there.
Yeah, I kind of like Clark too, but again, we kind of have to see how these, how Boston's lineup shakes out. And frankly, I like him at 5K, but I just feel like there might be better value elsewhere, with all these scratches and impending late scratches tomorrow. I do like Joe Val tomorrow, though. 7,200 against a Celtics team that's not great against centers, especially if Tice. You said he's probable, so he'll probably be playing. But so I made a Joe Val call last time, and he came back to burn me. So I checked out a little bit of the game, and the Raptors were doubling him every single time he touched the ball. I have a feeling that it was his old team, and they knew exactly how to play him. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking for Joe Val to bounce back tomorrow. If you look at the 3 games previous to the Raptors game, he's been doing 40 DK points. So at 7,200, I think that's a good value.
Now, his one game against Boston this year, he played 26 minutes, put up 16 points, 13 boards, 2 blocks, and 2 steals. So he returned 44, just under 44 DK points. So he does have that 45-point return value, and he could easily bring back value. So that's not a bad call. Is he going to be more of a mainstay or in a few lineups for you?
Probably just in a few lineups. Probably just in a few lineups. I can't call him a mainstay right now. There's just going to be so much value tomorrow. We know that it's going to be kind of a last minute scrambling to some degree.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I like him, but I can only play him a few just because there are some guys that are priced up that I like.
I'll tell you what, though, I'd rather him at 72 than Ayton at 79.
Yeah, good call. I feel a lot, like I said, I like late Ayton spot. It's a smash spot, but I feel a lot more safer with Joe Val than I do with whatever Ayton wants to bring to the table that day, just because he sometimes just doesn't want to try.
Yeah,
But I like that one. Yeah,
That's all
you're
I've got
tooting
on
your own horn
Memphis.
out there. I hear
Yeah,
it.
trying, man.
I like it. So let's get back to the fifth game of the night. We got 7 tonight. We got 3 left. This is an exciting one here. This is probably the exciting game of the night. Portland at Dallas, or I keep saying at as if they're not all in Orlando still.
Yeah, it's a versus. You have to get used to versus.
It's just so accustomed. But Portland versus Dallas. And Portland, there is news that is not there. Whiteside is probable with this hip injury, and Steph Curry returned last game. That's pretty much all the news we have, except Dallas rested Luka, Porzingis, Finney-Smith. I expect them all to play. I don't know about you. I fully expect them to play. They rested on the first night of the back-to-back. If they don't, this will fully change, but I couldn't imagine that they're going to rest them both games. Let's start with Portland, who doesn't have any news besides Whiteside in his 5 minutes coming back. Who do you like in that? We'll go with the whole team because there's not much on the bench. So who do you like on Portland?
So Portland, I'm mainly looking at, their 2 backcourt guys. It's just they're a little, up and down, but Lillard and CJ are just getting 40 minutes a game. They're perfectly capable of putting up massive nights. I tend to game script with them a little bit more, so I might pair them with someone like Luka or Kristaps, but I will certainly be playing a little bit of Lillard and CJ. I do like CJ at 7,600. He tends to be a guy that's tough to get right, but maybe it's his turn. Lillard has a few 50-point games this last week.
Yeah, I love Lillard in this one. Stott said he wanted to play. He didn't care how many minutes he had to play him. We'll play him 40 every game. He's not joking. Was telling the truth there, and he's been playing. He missed 40 points or 40 minutes by one game, by 1 minute in one game this bubble. So this guy, you're getting the minutes. There's no if, what, but he's getting that time, and he's been balling out. They're only a half-game lead on the Suns right now and a half-game lead on the Spurs and a half-game behind the Grizzlies. So they're playing for their bubble lives right now, and I love Lillard at 98. Nurkic at 9K. Ugh, come on, man. He started in a very good value price at 59 that first game. I jumped up to 77, which was still good, and even 85 was there. But 9K, I just can't in this matchup. I hope a lot of people do, and I like Nurkic, but 9K, it's very hard for him to bring back value.
Yeah, I agree. Just because his ceiling since coming back is 54 DK points, so that's like what I think I want from someone that I'm paying 9K for. So I don't like to pay for their complete ceiling.
Exactly.
So I'm with you on that one.
And I don't mind McCollum at 76, though I would probably rather just pay up a little bit more and get a Tatum if he's playing. But there is someone that I didn't think I'd ever mention here, and that's Carmelo Anthony at 56. Melo has been playing great lately. Dropped 20 points the last 2 games. I think he brought 32 DK points and 35. I don't mind him, and this is a good matchup for him. So 56, if I'm in that range, I would probably go Brooks more for 200 cheaper, but if I'm in the 5K range for a couple people, or just small forward eligibility, I don't mind Melo here. And I never really say that, but I kind of like him here.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even have him noted, but I think you're right. Skinny Melo. I'm on it.
He's been balling. All right, man. Anyone else on the Blazers?
No, I mean, we've been talking about Trent all week and Zach Collins, but I just think there's better values in those price ranges than those guys.
Yeah, me too. Especially tonight with everybody being out, there's going to be a lot more value there. Okay, let's flip it on over to the Dallas side. I think their big guys are going to be playing, so let's throw it over right to you. Who do you like on the Dallas side?
Luka, I mean, he just might end up being my favorite play of the day. I do expect him to play. It just doesn't seem like Carlisle's style to just sit him for multiple games for no reason. Um, can you tell me who's going to guard him? I'm
No
guessing
one
they'll
should.
put Trent on him, but Trent has, he doesn't even always start. I have no idea who's going to guard him. At 10-8, I feel like he's going to smash that. I would love to see a Lillard Luka game tomorrow. That's what I'm going to
Yeah.
be hoping for, and I'll probably be game scripting that in some of my lineups.
Yeah, I love Luca here and at 10-8, and that's why I've been saying I like this cheap value that we have out here because there are the guys at the top of the board. One of the few times I really want a lot of these big guys, and they're all playing in games that they're going to be trying in. So that's another thing. You're getting these big guys, and they're the few people that are in games that matter to them. It doesn't really matter to the Mavs. But this is just a young core that wants to play basketball. And Luka at 10-8, that's a extremely he was over 11K last game, I believe. But 10-8, I like that price tag as well. And Porzingis at 8-2, he dropped. He was getting in the 9K range. 8-2 is not a bad price for him as well.
Oh yeah, I like Kristaps. Yeah, one more guy on that team I'll be looking at is Seth Curry. Playing against his former team, 4,200. He's cheap, but this guy has a really high ceiling. He just goes off once in a while. I look for him to be aggressive tomorrow against his old team, and at 4,200, I think I can. I think I have. He has some nice upside.
Yeah, I circled him as well at 4,200. I did against the old team too, and he returned last game. Not a bad player. I like him there, but I think there's so much value that I might go with a safer guy. We'll see. But Portland gives up a lot of threes. Dallas takes a lot of threes. He's going to be in a pretty good spot if that's where you want to go against the grain on some of the other kind of chalkier guys. I guess they're chalkier. And I would also look at Tim Hardaway Jr. if everybody sits again because he just funnels usage when that happens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If Luka does end up sitting again, I'd definitely be looking at him. He did pretty well today.
I don't think they will, but you never know. You never know in this bubble right now.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's get to the next game. There's the last two games. Both start at 9:00. We're going to start with the first one. That's the Pelicans against the Kings. I wonder if there's any people sitting in this game. Not just kidding. Yes, there's people sitting in pretty much every game. Let's jump it over to the Pelican side. So as of now, I think this is one of another game that I think people might be sitting by the time we get closer to 9 p.m. But we have Drew Holiday out with a quote-unquote elbow injury, Brandon Ingram out with a quote-unquote knee injury, and Zion Williamson quote-unquote out with a knee injury. On Sacramento, we have Fox out with a shoulder injury, Holmes out with a hip injury, and Bazemore questionable with a calf injury. Man, we'll start with the Pelicans, but who do you like?
Man, I hope these guys are all okay with these injuries that just came up.
Yeah, man, wish them well. I hope everybody with their quote-unquote injuries is doing good out there, just like you said.
You were asking about the Pelicans. You want to start with them?
Yeah, let's start with the Pelicans and with everybody out.
So, I mean, I think you have to play Lonzo Ball at 6,400. If this guy is your primary facilitator, he gets assists, he gets rebounds, he gets steals. He's easily capable of putting up 40 DK points. I will have a ton of Lonzo if he does indeed play tomorrow. Outside of Lonzo, Redick is someone I'll look at 4,300. I do think that his minutes are questionable. He's a little bit older. We'll see if they really push him. But if you do find out one or both of those guys are sitting, I'll have a little bit of a look at Josh Hart at 4,100. He's just an awesome rebounding guard. If he has the opportunity and the role, he should be able to smash 4,100.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Lonzo has got to be the number one guy here. But again, do they play him 30 minutes with resting Drew, Ingram, and Zion, knowing or Lonzo had some injury history the last couple of years and even this year? Do they play him enough? That's one thing that I'll be nervous about.
This might be a game that I'll kind of stack, like take 3 or 4 players from this game and put them together just in case something like that does happen. You swing for the fences with these things when you're playing a lot of lineups and doing GPPs. So I'll put them together just to make sure we get a real game out of it. And if we don't, then I just, I forfeit those lineups.
I like that. And Redick's the same way with me as the elder statesman in this team. I really like him at that price, but I don't know if they're going to give him all the run that he's played over 30 minutes in the last 2 games. I don't know if he's going to do that again, but if he does, I really like him in this matchup. You mentioned another guy, Josh Hart at 41. I do think he's going to get a lot of minutes, and I do think he can easily beat that 41 price tag. 2 other guys that in my head, I think they're just going to go youth. So there's 2 other guys that I like in this matchup. And one is Jackson Hayes. I think it's going to be it would probably be a Harry guy. Oh, actually, I don't know, because Luke Walton is the coach that just doesn't know what he's doing. So I'll say a Jackson Hayes versus whoever Luke Walton wants to play. I think he'll play a fairly sizable amount of minutes at 3,400. I don't mind him. And then one guy that I really like, Nikhil Alexander-Walker at 3,200. He's the guy that I think is – I say this a lot every time everybody's missing, but I think that he's going to play about 25, 30 minutes, and this guy's never shy about shooting. If he plays 25 minutes, he might take 25 shots, and I love that.
Yeah, good call. If we do find out some of these guys are sitting or, get the inkling that their minutes will be limited, those are 2 great guys to look at.
Yeah, and unfortunately it's at 9, so we might not know that till later.
Oh, yeah. Good call.
All right, let's jump to the Sacramento side. We said Fox and Holmes are out, and Bazemore is questionable. Who do you like over here?
So I like my guy. I've been talking about him all this week. The real B Bogdanovich. I love Bogdanovich in this matchup. He's just been smashing. The last 3 games, 34 fantasy points, 38 DK points, 49 DK points. He's going to be handling the ball. He doesn't even need to be hitting shots, and he should hit that value easily.
I like him.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, he's on Sacramento. He's my number 1 guy. I like him on this for all the reasons you mentioned. Every time Fox is out, he gets more usage. He runs the offense. He initiates the offense. Like you said, even if he's not hitting his shots or taking a bunch of shots, he's going to have the rock in his hands. And for 5,500, I love people who I know are going to get big time usage.
Yeah. Outside of that, I've got a little bit more risky guys. I just have it in my mind that Buddy Hield has to have a good game at some point during this bubble.
I was hoping you said him.
You know what? I have to. At 48, his price is low. The opportunity's going to be there. I've got faith in Buddy. I think he can do it in 1 game. I think this might be the game for him.
Yeah. Same way here. I have faith in him at this price tag a lot. It just happens that Luke Walton does not have the same faith that everybody else has about Buddy Hield. Again, I'm going to be playing him in places at 45. That's a very good price, or 48. My bad. That's a very good price for a guy who can get hot, even with a healthy New Orleans team. And with the backups playing, there's no one that should be able to guard him. With that said, for some reason Luke Walton doesn't like to play him, and I'll throw in right before you go. I also like Harry Giles at 3,200. He should start, and he should get significant run. And this is I'm saying should because the caveat of Luke Walton. I have a feeling that tomorrow when the lineups come out, Corey Joseph's going to be starting, and Alex Len's going to be starting with Bogdanovich, Bjelica, and Harrison Barnes instead of a Buddy Hield and instead of a Harry Giles. And it's just going to really annoy me because they're playing for nothing, and he's still going to throw in – I know he's going to throw in Corey Joseph in the starting lineup. I just know it.
Yep, and at 3,700, he's someone that I'll have a little bit of interest in if he's starting.
I if he does it, I'm done. I'm done with Luke Walton.
Yeah, in a perfect world, Giles should be playing tomorrow and getting minutes, and I'd like to see it. As a fan, I want to see this guy play.
Yeah, and then we're probably going to see Daquan Jeffries, who's played, I believe, 25 and 30 minutes the last two games. He's probably going to play more than Buddy Hield too, which is just, come on, man, what are you doing here?
It looks like he has played more than him the last few games. That says a lot.
This is why, like, I really like Buddy Hield in this matchup again. I just don't know. Luke Walton doesn't know what he's doing. It's that simple, I think. But I'm still going to have some Buddy Hield in my lineup just because this matchup is great for him.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really have too much outside of that. I will actually. Apache called me the Barnes Whisperer the other day, which I usually don't play Barnes, but he should see a usage bump without Fox. He's been featured a little bit more. I do like him when he plays the 4. At 4,700, this is a guy that did put up 37 fantasy points against this team this year, so I think there's an opportunity for him.
Yeah, and he's much better at the 4. I like how you said that. I don't know why they wanted him to play the 3. He's a better power forward. He's better on the bench, but that's the point. Let's hit this last game, man. Milwaukee at Washington. Last time I was joking with Dave, semi-joking, that the Nets, when they were resting everybody and the Bucks were going to be a barn burner. I said it about 10 times all throughout the show. And the Nets wound up making it a barn burner and winning. So let's see if I can duplicate that. And Washington,
my bookie that one.
I should have. They didn't even have a line when we were talking, and then it came out to 18. It was, or right before, I think.
Yeah, I saw that.
30 minutes before game time, it was like 18 and a half. I was like, oh my gosh.
I saw that it was the biggest spread that was beat ever in an NBA game.
It was insane. Maybe I can will the Wizards to their first bubble victory. Let's see. But the biggest news in this is that some guy named Giannis Antetokounmpo. I don't know who that is, but he's not playing tonight. Never heard of this guy. Whoever he is, he's not playing. And Washington has Shabazz Napier. The GOAT, the UConn GOAT, is questionable. So how do you feel about the Bucks squad? We'll start with them since they're the quote unquote visitors without this Giannis guy playing.
So this is like another one of those tough Giannis calls where, like, I don't see a world where he plays over 28 minutes.
Oh no, they have him out.
Oh, I thought he was out.
No. Yeah, that was out for today. My bad. Yeah, I was reading that one wrong. This Giannis character is probably playing in this game.
And we all know that, Giannis is quite capable of putting up DK points. There's no one on this team that can handle him at all. I probably won't be playing him just because I don't see any reason for him to be playing minutes. And that's really just how I feel about this whole Bucks team. I think I'm going to completely fade them. Like they're getting ready for a deep playoff run. I think you'll see a lot of backups getting minutes, and until I see a starting lineup or a late injury report, I might just be fading this team altogether.
Yeah, same here. Unless people are getting actually missing the game entirely, I can't play. Like Giannis at 10-5, give me Luka for 300 more. I know if he's going to play, I know he's going to get the minutes in that game. Giannis at 10-5, they played Brooklyn. He played 16 minutes, but it was all in the beginning, and then the whole team just went to the bench. So I can easily see that happening again against a Wizards team that had no business being in the bubble in the first place. So I'm with you. I can't play Giannis. If Giannis sits again, maybe I'll look at Middleton for 7-7 theoretically, but I just don't see anybody playing that many minutes. Like you said, I have to fade this whole Bucks team, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. Even Middleton, I think it's just the same story. 25 minutes at most.
I mean, we're not fading them for talent, guys. We're fading them because they're playing against a team with not that much of it. And let's go right to them. The last team of the night, the Washington Wizards, who are probably going to be playing backups, I would assume, for the most part of the game. So who do you like here? They have Shabazz Napier questionable. Besides that, they're relatively healthy.
I will be looking at Troy Brown a bit. His price is starting to creep up. He's at 6,000, but I just like his role. You know, he's been a ball handling guard, so he's starting to get some assists. Milwaukee plays really fast. He should get up and down the court. 30 DK points is the lowest total he's had the entire time he's been in the bubble. So I think a 5x floor with the potential for more than that, I kind of like Troy Brown.
Yeah, I think the first game he had only about 20. But besides, after that, you're right. His floor was 30 after that. When he had that price bump. But I mean, he's hit value every time. So for 6K, he's the one guy or the number one guy on this team that I know could hit value, even if he only sees a handful of minutes, just because he's hit it every game. And the second guy, I'm assuming you're going to hit right now.
Thomas Bryant.
Yeah.
So I think Bryant is in a decent spot. My only problem with Bryant is I like other people. I would rather pay 900 more for Kristaps or pay 100 less for Jonas Valanciunas. I think Bryant is in a good spot to bounce back, and if we see that Brook Lopez is sitting and maybe he ends up playing against more of a second unit, he's someone I'll give stronger consideration to. But I just like other people more at the center spot.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. I just said I only said it like he hit value pretty much every game, except for that last one as well. Just like Troy Brown, who only has one game not hitting value. But I for 73, like you said, I like Joval 100 less. And if I'm going to pay up, there are a few people that I'd rather have to pay up for as well. So I'm not really going to play Thomas Bryant. I'm not really going to play much of anybody in this game per se, on the Bucks side or the Wizards side. Do you have anybody else that you like on the Wizards?
One other guy I'd give some consideration to is Ish Smith. With no Napier, he really is the only point guard on this team. He has been returning value most games that he's playing. If we see he's going to get a dose of Bledsoe defense, that might be a different story. But if they are indeed sitting guys, you could make a case for Ish. I'll put it like that.
Yeah. We'll have to see what the Bucks do. But the only bad thing is that they're playing at 9, so we might not know till most of the games have played already, unfortunately. But yeah, you can make a case for Ish against some backups if he would see 30 minutes without easily. You should easily see with 30 minutes without Napier there, unless they just want to go youth this last 2 games.
Oh man. I will not be watching that game.
If it's backups versus backups, I'm good. The Wizards are pretty much backups as is. No, I'm just joking.
We get to sleep early tomorrow night. Then.
Exactly, because we don't really need to watch that New Orleans versus Sacramento game. Though there is some solid plays out there. All right.
Sure.
I did miss. Sorry, guys. We'll have to backtrack here. The Boston-Memphis game is the only one with a spread. I forgot that they had a spread since everybody else doesn't. And Boston is favored by 5.5 points, and the over/under is 224.5. So that's the one spread out there. If you're still listening, that's the only spread of the day so far. I'm assuming when we have more concrete news right up until 2 hours before tip, that we'll have some more lines out there. But right now we only have that one line. So I think we navigated through this tough slate of just uncertainty and whatnot. Is there anything else, Steve, that you want to let the viewers know before we head on out of here?
Yeah, I mean, it's just for tomorrow especially, and probably the rest of the time until we hit the playoffs, you need to be able to late swap. There's just going to be a lot of news coming out during the day tomorrow, and you have to be flexible with it. So just make sure you have that in mind while you're setting your lineups, and you have some freedom to take a few minutes to swap guys out if you need to.
Yeah, that's the big thing. And luckily, we have late swaps on both FanDuel and DraftKings now. That wasn't the case earlier but now both of them are doing it. So that's a good thing. And yeah, if you're playing tomorrow, and even the rest of this week, man, what you're going to want to do is just, if you can, is just stay glued to the news, and see who's in, who's out, because it's going to constantly change, and teams are waiting until the last minute sometimes to say if they want to play someone. And with most teams not having anything to play for, that's the big key right there, because they don't need to play anything. And a lot of these seeding games would have mattered more if there was home court advantage, but now teams are just saying, if I'm the 4, 5, or 6, I don't really care.
Yep, ditto.
Awesome. But yeah, that's it for this game. We went through all 7 games on a volatile slate. We'll see what we come up with tomorrow, if any of this still matters, or everything just hits the fan and everybody decides people are in, people are out, and things change. But that's on behalf of Hoopball DFS today. I'm Santino Cacone and Steven Williams. And good night, guys. We'll
Have
catch
a good
you
one.
again.
Good luck, guys.
Good luck.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.